Hey YouTube land, Mel here. Now, hopefully today you can hear okay with this video. I'm going to have a lot of background noise. Furnace is going on. It's Wisconsin. It's cold. So hopefully you won't hear too much noise, but wanted to get this little video because I had some problems putting my new grip on my Smith & Wesson 4006. Now, if you bought one of these police turn-in 4006s, you're going to notice that, your grips look pretty ratty. I mean, this one's seen some better days. So, what did I do? I went out and I bought myself a new set of Hogue Grips. So, supposedly these fit everything, and they do. I've already had them on the gun, but wanted to take it apart and put it back together to show you guys the trouble I ran into. And the main trouble I ran into was this little guy. So, what happens with this guy is there's a ridge right here, and it's going to keep you from getting your mainspring pin back in. So, what you do, if it doesn't go in real easy, just get your file her down, get this nice and flat, and then you'll have no problem with it. So let's see if I can do this real quick on camera. All right, let's move some parts here. So we'll get the mainspring out. Get yourself a little setup so you can get the punch. And get our little hammer, our little punch. A couple of taps. Out she goes. Now, the mainspring in this gun is housed in this grip. So when you're pulling this thing off, there's going to be some tension because in there is your mainspring and it's actually housed by the grip. So I might have to do this off camera so I can get some grip on this guy. They just don't want to pop out. What it is too is there's a couple little inside here, there's a couple little ridges that actually grip onto the frame. They're kind of stuck in there, so let's see if we can't just give it a little help. There we go. Out she comes. And now those ridges that are down in here, you'll see them when you get the grip off. You got to kind of pry those over the frame. And out she comes. But this is what I'm talking about. See this mainspring? That's actually in the part of the grip. So, what we do is we take our new one, slide her on, snap it into place. And what's going to happen, what you're going to notice, is you're going to try to drive this pin through here. It's not going to work. That's when you're going to have to file down that inside piece so that the pin will go back in nice and neat. And it shouldn't take much force to get the pin in, but you do have to use a little because you do actually see how this guy is a little over on both sides. There is actually a little groove in the center of that pin where this guy has a pin and it sits on it, so it's all part of the way it's built. All right, then we put our grips on, and one thing to note with the grips, you got a little ridge right here that's going to fit in the frame. That's where that little pin that we just drove is going to sit, and then we're going to attach it all together with 2 screws. So let's get these guys on here. Get that guy to sit in place. And once they're in, man, they sit pretty tight. So just takes a little bit of work. Switch around to the other side here. There we go. Get this guy on. And just gotta do a little fiddling. See how they sit underneath there, they sit under there, they clip in there, that ridge down in there sits on the frame, and then just add our screws. And I'd like to thank Hogue for sending flathead screws. Guys, we're in the new millennium. I haven't used flatheads in forever. Maybe period correct, it may look cool, but man, it is not fun for gunsmiths. Flathead screws, thing of the past. Come on, man. Torx, or at least Phillips. And a couple of tightens. Get our grips to sit nice and even. There you go. New grips on the 4007. Isn't that pretty? Oh, and real quick, if you notice I didn't safety check the gun, well, number one, it's because I know the magazine's not in it. And number two, this guy actually has this really cool little window right here. You can tell if it's loaded. See, no bullet, no load. So, there you go. New grips, new Hogue grips on the Smith & Wesson 4006. Just takes a little bit of gunsmithing on a little bit of plastic to make them fit in nice and neat. All right, take care all.